Okay, folks, this is take two. Actually, it's take five because YouTube cut me off, and I was under the 15-minute limit, I assure you, but YouTube cut me off anyway. So I've been attempting to re-record this, then my camera froze. So anyway, so I'm going to try and finish out my thoughts about this summit that's going on in Japan on May 21st in Tokyo between Japan, China, and South Korea. What really gets me about this article is the fact that I think not only are you seeing a new security arrangement taking place before our very eyes under the guise of dealing with issues raised by the Japanese quake, the nuclear disaster, and so on, but I think you have to look also at something else very significant. If you look at Japanese energy policy since the Yom Kippur War in 1973, Japan has been very quietly but very deliberately pursuing a long range energy policy to reduce drastically Japan's dependence on petroleum as a source of its energy. So I think what you see in this summit is South Korea and China are getting in on this act. In other words, this summit is a direct challenge to the Anglo American corporate and petroleum elite. And it's interesting to me that the article mentions nowhere that the United States is sending any observers, that they've even been invited, and so on and so forth. So I think you're seeing yet another indicator of that wider context that politically suggests that the earthquake and the ensuing disasters may have been, please underscore, boldface and italicize those words, may have been something artificially induced. And if so, Japan is signaling, no, we're not going to play ball. We are pursuing the course that we're on. Now, there's another article that I'll be posting tomorrow on the written blog that kind of accompanies this fireside chat. And that article is actually a video that was run on Reuters. I'll post the link of a Japanese water powered car developed by a Japanese company called GenePax that was going to mass market this water powered car. Now, it's very interesting because what they're doing is they're cracking the hydrogen from the oxygen in water, and then they're using that to power electricity to run the car. So you have a totally clean technology here. It's utterly devoid of any dependence upon petroleum. And that in itself is a direct challenge, once again, to the power and influence that that Anglo American corporate elite has had over Japan since the end of World War II. So, what I'm suggesting here, folks, is that we need to watch this summit that's taking place on May 21st in Tokyo between Japan, China, and South Korea very, very carefully, because the messages that they send out from that summit are going to tell us whether or not we have any further basis to suspect a political corroboration for the idea or the hypothesis that this whole disaster was somehow engineered. But also, even independent of that, we're going to be getting messages as to the future direction that Japan is going to take vis-a-vis the rest of Asia. My money is on the fact that Japan is going to stay the course and continue to try and extricate itself from that dependence on petroleum and that servitude, basically, to the Anglo American corporate elite. Anyway, that's more or less what I wanted to say when I first recorded the video. And again, I might be back this weekend with more fireside chats. Chances are this weekend it's very unlikely because I am trying to finish up, as I said, I'm trying to finish up a book and get that off to get it in press. But again, I want to thank everybody for the comments. I wish I could respond to all of you who post comments on the website, who post comments on Facebook or YouTube. I simply don't have the time, folks, and but I do want to thank you for your contributions and for your continued support, and above all, for your prayers. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all on the flip side. Bye bye.